Right, I'm with Scott. Scott, it's been a whirlwind couple of months for you, taking over the first team, guiding them to Wembley, and now it's academy time and busy, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, it's been a bit mad. Obviously, it's well documented what happened at the end of the season. But you know, working in football is all a little bit crazy at times, and we're always busy, regardless of which job we're doing.
And of course, you know, you're still very much involved in the first team with the progression with the academy.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's the way it should be. You know, I work closely with Mark and Scotty, and you know, it's been early days, obviously, but we're working really well together. There's a lovely link now between the academy lads with the development squad, which sort of we look after together. To be honest, you know, Scott and I take the games. The gaffer's always there as well, so that's a lovely progression into the first team. So yeah, the club as a whole is all pulling in the same direction, which has got to do, to be fair, to get boys through.
The first team have been away this week in Portugal. You've been looking after the first year pros and obviously your academy. So again, I use that word busy. It's been a busy time.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, we want to be busy, we want to be coaching, we want to be on the training pitch, and you know, they've had an opportunity to go to a brilliant training camp in Portugal, and you know, I spoke to them a few times since they've been there. It's been really productive. Obviously, a 2-0 win last night as well, which is fantastic because it just builds momentum going into the busy week. To be fair, next week I think between us, the academy and the first team, we've got 5 games next week, so we'll be back in on Monday training, and then we've got obviously the game Monday night, Tuesday night, Friday, Saturday. So it's you know, hopefully they've had no knocks or niggles over there, and everyone comes back fighting, ready to get in the team on the first week of the season.
You played Everton in the week with your development squad. Great experience for the boys.
Yeah, brilliant, and me, to be fair. It was good, and I think actually it's probably good for the Everton players as well because I felt early on in the game they probably didn't approach the game in the right way, maybe, you know, and I know Duncan Ferguson and Kevin Sheedy were a little bit disappointed with not their attitude, but just they tried to overdo it in certain areas. So I think they got after him a little bit, to be fair, at the end. But no, it was great for us, and it's something that we want to continue. We don't want it to. I don't want to make it sound like an exhibition game. You know, we're having games like this quite often now. So we've already done Portsmouth, Bristol City, Everton already this season. But we're trying to play a few local men's sides as well. You know, senior teams, and just to get a good blend of games for the boys.
You've made a number of signings pre-season with the academy. You've brought a few players in. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your players that you've signed?
Yeah, well, we've got quite a few because the way we've done it this year with the development squad, we want you know, the second year scholars, if you like, to be pushing towards that squad. So we took on a number of under-16s at the end of last season. So we're quite first year dominant really this year. But you know, that was all part of the plan. So we've got a sprinkling of second years that I hope aren't even playing for me on a Saturday really, because they're in the midweek squad instead. But we think with the sort of we've got 3 teams, haven't we, between us, between the groups, you know, the first team, development and academy. So it's key that we have some younger players, some kind of ones pushing, and then obviously the first team boys. So between the staff, we should be able to get enough games into people.
Yeah. You must have been really proud last season. Joe Stokes stepped into the first team with Louis McGorry as well. Aidan Bordin went to Bristol City, so you know it's really starting to bear some fruit now.
Yeah, it's good. You know, obviously I was really happy for Aidan. Good move. Louis going to be a very, very good player. Joe coming to the team at the end of last season and did well. He's a first year pro now. But you know, the key message to those boys is that it's a long career, and we've got to. They're at the very early stages of it, so they haven't done anything yet. Although I do believe they've got the right attitude to kick on. It's our job as staff to make sure that happens.
And also, I guess you're probably prepared as well to let some of your younger players get experience in senior football at sort of Southern League level and just below the conference.
Potentially, we play. Our system's quite different here. You know, Mark, I and Scotty have discussed this, and might be something we do middle to end of the season rather than early on. We want our boys to be within our own system and understand how we want to play here before we allow them to go out. It depends as well how many development games and the quality of opposition we get. If we've got good quality games there, then there's no need for them to go anywhere.
No. Is there a plan to have sort of regular development games, almost like not a league as such, but a regular pattern of games?
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll do every midweek where we can, particularly where there's no first team game here or obviously away in the league. But even if there is, I think we'll have the second years that I've got. Your Giancarlos and Tommy Andersons have done really well, so they're ready to step up into that with sort of fringe first team players, anyone that's not in Mark's squad. So there'll be loads of games.
Yeah, and also this season Matt Tubbs is signed. I know he's a good friend of yours. You've played with him as well. That must be a great signing for the club.
Yeah, I think so. And again, it's like I saw your interview the other day. We were talking about all the transfers and the dealings. I think as a club now we're making decisions as a group of people, and I think that's important because there's a number of boxes that need to be ticked, and Mark, Asif, Dale, myself, and Scotty, everyone felt that Matt ticked those boxes. So yeah, like you say, a good signing. I think there's no risk there, particularly in terms of character. So I think Rob Sinclair said the other day that we're building a real good squad of good people as well as players, which is important.
And obviously there is like a mini sort of Salisbury contingent, really, isn't there, with the players that you've worked with as well and played with, Elliot Freer, Rob Sinclair. So that must have been another thing for Matt Tubbs to want to come and be part of.
Yeah, I think so. I think I just said there, got to tick a lot of boxes. We probably, from a player's point of view, there's a number of boxes need to be ticked as well. So obviously the ambition of the club, but also having some familiar faces, it does no harm at all. Yeah,
and also with the academy again, the goal is the Football League. Can you explain how that changes the academy somewhat with the Football League? A lot of people won't know the changes.
It changes to a certain degree. You can do it in a number of stages. I think we would look at getting the 16s and 18s in a Football League programme initially, with then getting the rest of the age groups right the way down to the under 8s in it within a sort of a 3-year time period. But in terms of what we're doing, obviously the games on a Saturday would be of better quality. We feel we're doing well to supplement those games anyway at the moment. You can tell by the type of opposition we're getting. Having a development squad games is arguably pushing the boys on even more anyway. So there's no sort of right or wrong. We just feel that what we're doing at the moment is making up for us not being in the Football League. But obviously when we do, which hopefully will be this time next year, we'll be in a games programme with the type of teams we're playing in friendlies. We'll be in a league instead.
And of course, when you have played the likes of Everton and Cardiff, you gained a lot of plaudits from them as opposition. Really impressed with what you're doing here.
Yeah, and again, there's different categories. So we'd go in at Cat 4, possibly Cat 3. Cardiff's in Category 2 with Bristol City, and Everton are obviously Cat 1 in the Premier League. So we wouldn't probably be playing those oppositions. So in a funny sort of way, we're getting better games than we would at the moment if we're in the Football League. But I think it helps you attract players, definitely. We've done that this year. We've managed to get a few boys that had offers from professional clubs higher up the league pyramid because of what we're doing in the education side of things with SGS College, and I think that's quite a pool now, really. So we'll look to possibly do something a little bit different than the average club when we get in the Football League, because we do believe in the education route.
Finally, you must be really pleased and proud of Matty Taylor, his progress at Bristol Rovers, the goals he scored, top scorer last season, just signed a new contract. He'll be playing League One football, scored a great goal against Aston Villa in a pre-season friendly last night. But I think a lot of people don't know he was the man that you sort of discovered at North League.
Yeah, that was part of my role then, like it is now to a certain degree. I was in the right place at the right time and saw Matty a couple of times, and we managed to find a way of bringing him to Forest Green, and I think everyone here is delighted for him. He's a great lad. He's obviously had a couple of fantastic years at Bristol Rovers with Daz, and it's a nice fit. I wasn't sure if he was going to stay or not. I'm glad he has, to be fair, and he's obviously kicking on again, and I do think he's shown good loyalty there to Bristol Rovers, because they've kicked him on, and I think that was the right thing for him to do, to be fair. And then if he has another season like he did, he might get a move to the Championship. It's happened before, but we wish him all the best.
Great, cheers, Scotty.
Right, mate.
Thank you.